Hello and welcome to From Garden to Plate. I am Alice Erickson, the curator of this channel on YouTube. I have 20 years experience gardening. I went from pots to raised beds. So therefore I have literally done every trick and tip out there when it comes to gardening. So what I teach you is proven to give an amazing yield. I prefer to organic garden because you get the best out of the plants and it tastes best in your food. I like to take preserved items from the bounty of the harvest and implement them in everyday delicious meals. I also want to inspire you to become an organic gardener and how to go from a cook to a house chef if you pay attention to the simple tricks and tips in between that I will show you to implement flavor and ways to get an amazing yield. You can become at my level as well. If that interests you, please like and subscribe. In today's episode is going to be a tutorial. I'm making pizza sauce, fresh from tomatoes and cut herbs. I will do a few simple differences when it comes to the ball recipe in a way to implement flavor a little bit better, but I follow the science because there is no spoilage when you go with ball recipes when it comes to method. It is incredibly important to sanitize everything, including spoons, utensils, all of it. Measuring devices that you are going to use for canning. I like to use Star San because it's a food grade sanitizer. The glassware will have another dip into the solution as well after, but right now they are in the dishwasher. You want to wash everything and then dip it into the sanitizer. Sounds like double work, but it will make sure that all off flavors are removed and then the sanitation can go on there properly. You want to spray everything, nice mist, with olive oil. And make sure you don't have any sticking. It also helps with the roasting. I am going to roast in my smoker because I can have many trays at once at 300 degrees for 3 hours. It helps reduce a lot of the liquid out of the sauce from later on when I blend it and cook it on the stove. So you just go in and take Himalayan sea salt, sprinkle lightly over everything. Take black peppercorn, freshly ground, go over everything. What's nice about doing this on the pan, you know that this is evenly seasoned, and you won't have to do it later on. Okay, then you just mix everybody up. Spread it out. I have completely washed the basil and oregano and I mix it together. I removed all the stems so it's ready to chop. I'm only needing a half a cup. What's cool is whatever I have left, I can pour olive oil over it and freeze it and use it later if I want to cook with it. So nothing is wasted here. So I go through and I chop it together, and then I will set it aside for when I make the sauce. So proper position is this. Hand, thumb is going to help you chop. The reason you do it together, it also helps blend the flavors together. I don't want to roast this with the other flavors because it'll end up bittering the herbs. I also don't want this to be completely in the sauce because red and green makes what? A brown color. So I just go through, make it very fine, and I'll save it in here because it's nice and it tells me what a half cup is because I have up to 3/4 of a cup in this. So I have scooped everything that was left over and I put it in a Tupperware. I'm going to use olive oil and I'm going to coat it Olive oil will freeze. You want to do a little bit above the herbs to make sure that everything is good. All the pans are out of the smoker now. I have a little bit more roasted one that was on the bottom. That's okay. A lot of the juices have been rendered out, so it will help me. Now I'm going to puree everything. Wanted to show you the consistency that you're trying to achieve. I'll give you an up-close view. I got my KitchenAid, pureed it pretty well, and I also used my Vitamix, so that way I got a really good thickness. But you still render a little bit on the stove and make sure it's all evenly cooked. Very important to do that. This is the thickness that you're trying to do for pizza sauce, because you want it to be able to spread but not be watery. Mix in the chopped herbs. You don't want to cook it earlier because it will change the sauce color. This is something to make it go into consistency. So you just mix it evenly, and then you're going to cook this on the stove. Constantly move it to make sure you get no char or any burnt bits. I add in 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar. It helps the acidity in the sauce. You don't want a lot of sugar in sauce because 1, calories, and 2, it just overtakes it. So the brown sugar complements the roasty flavors, so it's a nice subtle background in the flavoring. Highly suggest it. I have finished the process in the canning that I have. Sauces are ready. I'm going to go by the ball instructions and not move them for 12 hours. I have them on a cooling rack. I wanted to make a disclaimer, it's working, that when I refer to ball, I'm talking about the citric acid, the what to do in the how long to process, and sanitation that I suggested earlier just makes it easier on me, but it is important. My recipe has worked, proven. I've gone 18 months, no problem with spoilage, because I follow ball when it comes to everything. So I highly suggest it for you too as well. Thank you very much for viewing today. Hope to see you soon.